Hello, and welcome back, everyone, to the Amandana podcast. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Mandana, and today we have a very special guest, Aya. Thank you so much for being here, Aya. And first, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to create the Pagato app? And also, what was the inspiration behind the name?
Of course. So, thank you for having me. So, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been kind of an entrepreneur for over 2 years now. I have a background in computer and cognitive science. And then I just kind of found myself having a business, and that's what I'm doing full time now. I built Pagato, which is an app that connects businesses with temporary work opportunities. So, if, for example, an event or a festival needs a couple of people to come help out for the weekend, we provide a database of workers who are vetted. We check the ID, we have the experience to these workers. We really handle everything. So we connect them, they can post a shift, people get dispatched, and we manage all the payments on both sides. So it's really like a staffing agency, but fully automated. It's a lot more, efficient and practical for everyone involved. I started building this project because I actually worked very briefly at a staffing agency, and I felt like it was a very outdated industry that needed some a little revamp. I think now everything is getting marketplace, everything is getting like an AI revamp. And I felt like staffing agencies should be next. Pagato is actually an Italian name. My business partner is Italian, and he came up with the name. It means paid,
Mhm.
because we handle payments. Our workers get paid the same day within 3 hours of finishing the shift. So it's you work, you get paid, super simple, and we just felt like it kind of rolled out nice off the tongue. A lot of our competitors have very generic compound names like InstaWork or InstaJob, whatever, but we wanted something a little more unique and out there. So that's Pagato. Cool. I really like the name.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we really love it. We kind of had some concerns about, English, French. Some people say pagato, some people say pagato. But overall, we've had very good feedback about it. And I think the Italian community loves it too. So whenever we meet other Italian business owners, they're like, "Oh my God, I love the name." So it's a nice little wink at his culture. For sure. And we were wondering, how does the app ensure a good match between businesses and workers? Yeah, so we use an algorithm that matches the business with the workers. When they both create the profile, of course, they have a few questions to answer. It's mostly the worker. They get to enter their availabilities, what kind of experience they have, what kind of jobs they want to take. Um, so when the business posts shifts, you only get notified when a shift actually matches your schedule, your availability, your experience, etc. And then the business has access to reviews. They can see the full profile. And there's also the Pagato score, which is it's a score based off completely objective metrics. So we use, for example, geolocation to track at what time the worker gets to the job site, and then for every minute that you're early, you can gain a point, and then every minute that you're late, you kind of lose a point. Or like every time you pick up a shift, you gain a few points. As long as you don't cancel or don't show up at all, or you're not late, you're going to have a really good score. And that's kind of a good way, because reviews can be very subjective. So the Pagato score is a more objective metric. So that's how we make sure that it's a somewhat good match, and the business, of course, gets to choose who takes the shift at the end. So they're not constrained to taking whoever applies. They can actually choose from like the little pool of candidate that wants to take that shift.
And what kind of feedback have you received from businesses and also workers using Pagato?
Yeah, so right now we are not running any shifts. We've done some beta testing though. The reason why we're not running shifts as of yet is because we need to build a pool of candidates. So we can't go to businesses and tell them, well, we only have 10 workers on the platform. we need to go to them knowing that someone's going to pick up that shift. So right now we're fully focused on building our base of workers. Um, and I think UX UI, we did an excellent job. We have a lovely team of developers and UX UI designers who really worked to make this app. Um, I wanted to I wanted it to be as easy to use as possible. You know, it's super accessible, it's inclusive, it's easy to use. It takes not even 10 minutes to sign up and create your profile. So yeah, feedback wise in the UX, I think it's great. We've also, really thought of like the full experience. So you get to punch in through the app. The business has a little code to give to make sure that it's the right person checking in. We use like geolocation to make sure that they're there. Um, we get to pay them instantly. We've really worked on like all the small details of the entire customer journey to make sure that people are having the smoothest experience as possible. So overall, very good feedback. We get a lot of like little bugs, like people let us know about these things, or they let us know if they have something they would like to see. For example, one of our clients who's actually using our platform next week, Startup Fest, has mentioned they wanted to be able to change the shift after it happened in case the person worked overtime. So that's something we implemented. So we're very receptive to feedback, and but overall we're getting very good traction, a lot of interest, and it's been good so far. Yeah.
So that's very good to hear.
Of course.
And we were also wondering approximately how many users do you currently have and how does the app generate revenue?
Yeah. So I think we have about 1,500 workers right now. Um, that's within 2 months of launching. No marketing dollars. This is purely with TikTok, which is really awesome. You always want to keep your like acquisition for like users as low as possible. Um, for the revenue, we charge a marketplace fee to the business. So the business chooses the wage that they're paying to the worker, the job offer, and on top of that, we charge a markup fee that is dynamic depending on the industry, on the demand, and on the availability. So, for example, if we're talking about Black Friday for retail stores, um, we may be ranging towards the 45% markup, and then if it's off season, the lowest I believe is 25% markup, and all of that is still very competitive if we're comparing it to staffing agencies. Staffing agencies charge upwards of 150% markups. So our costs are very low because again everything is automated. We don't need account managers calling everyone and scheduling everyone manually, and the business doesn't have to talk to someone every time they need something. Everything is really automated, so that's how we keep our costs low.
And do you plan to scale Pagato beyond Quebec? And what are your future plans in terms of expansion?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I think it's a very scalable business model. um, Obviously there's like the legal and marketing that needs to be worked every time we expand somewhere. uh, Quebec is only it's only the start. We just want to optimize our product in Quebec because that's where we're from. We know the market very well. So, market research wise, it was simpler to conduct for us. But within the next year, we will be expanding to the rest of Canada. And hopefully, within 5 to 10 years, we want to expand to the USA and Europe. So, absolutely, Quebec is only the top of the iceberg.
And how do you balance the demands of running a business with your personal life?
You don't. When you have a business, you don't. You kind of choose to you make a lot of sacrifices having a business. Like walking into this, I I didn't really know what I was walking into, to be honest. I work every hour of the day. I work all the time unless I have something. So by default, if I have nothing on my calendar, I'm working. I'm at my desk working. And that's just the reality of how it is. Um, I do go out, once a week, have a date night, of course. I go on vacation, perhaps twice a year. But it's a lot of work I also think there's a side that you get very isolated. Being a business owner or an entrepreneur is something that I see a lot with some of my colleagues as well. Is, where you kind of like, I get like part ways with your social surroundings. You don't go to things anymore. Like you have a tunnel vision, and your business becomes everything to you. It becomes like an obsession. So personal life is just not a thing anymore. It's all you can think about. Like I'm eating and I'm thinking about it. I wake up and like first thing I think about. I can't sleep because I'm thinking. It becomes the only thing that's on your mind. So you just choose to ditch your personal life aside um, for this. And of course, it can lead to burning out, which is also like a very recurrent theme in entrepreneurship, like the possibility of burning out. And I used to believe that, um, like, if I worked out or if I took care of myself, these were rewards. And I was like, I don't deserve it until I get to a certain milestone, especially pre-launch, like the few months leading to launching Pagato. I fully isolated myself. I wasn't leaving my house. I didn't want to do anything else but working, to the point that, of course, your brain overloads and you can't focus anymore. You're just staring at the screen, but like everything is blank. So eventually, I kind of started taking care of myself, going for walks, working out, etc. But at the end of the day, it's all done for my productivity. I do it with having in mind like this is going to make me more productive. So that's balancing personal life. I think it's not just for me, it's really for most business owners that I know. Like you kind of choose to sacrifice having a personal life because it really becomes everything to you.
And in the future, do you wish to live entirely off the revenue that your app generates?
Absolutely, of course. I don't have a plan B in life. I don't plan on doing anything else but having a business. I quit my last job 2 years ago, so I haven't had any like jobs since then. I'm very thankful to have some lovely investors and to be fully able to support myself with this, not with this business yet because it is pre-revenue, but I've had other projects before and I'm able to kind of sustain myself with the passive income from these projects. And of course, Pagato is next. It's a few years of fully investing. Every dollar you make, you invest it back in the business, and you don't pay yourself for a while. You're always kind of the last one to get paid when you're a business owner. But eventually, yes, I will. It's all I plan on doing. Whether it's Pagato, uh, whether we change the product a little bit, maybe it's going to be another business. I don't plan on having any other source of income besides having my business.
And what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs or simply students listening to us right now looking to create their own app or their own business?
Um, that's a great question. I think a lot of the advice doesn't really make sense until you're there. You can you can hear it's always the same advice, you have to work hard, you have to keep going, don't give up. Um, Believe in yourself. Like all these things don't make sense until you're actually deep in the shit, figuring it out by yourself. That's when the pieces connect together and you actually realize, okay, like that's what they meant by that. But if I still had to bring my grain of salt, it's to just get started. A lot of people just get stuck with the idea. They have an idea, they expect to have everything perfect, like, yeah, I'm waiting on this, and I'm not sure. And just take your idea, build some smaller version of it, see if people want it and need it, make sure people actually want your idea, and just get started. Just do something. It things will never be perfectly aligned. You will never have the full plan. Starting Pagato, when I hired the company that developed Pagato, I I didn't even have a name. We had nothing. We had no name, no business plan. Absolutely, we were just like, let's just get started. And I think that's the way it should be. Just get started because things are always changing. You can't plan. Sure, business plans, whatever. Like you can't plan anything. It's gonna change every single day. So just get started. And if you want to do exceptional things, you have to work an exceptional amount of hours. A lot of people know they have to work hard, but they don't know what the hard work looks like. Um, and when they get there, they're like, "Oh, it's too hard." They want to give up. They're like, "Oh, it's not working. I'm gonna go to my plan B." It's no, the hard work is it's ugly. It's not nice. You make a lot of sacrifice. You're gonna you're gonna lose your mind literally, and that's just how it is. Like if you want to achieve great things and you want your dreams, like you don't even know what it takes to get there, so don't give up. It's a lot of work, but you know, you have to keep going. And again, people say like don't give up all the time, but you just can't give up. Okay, like things are gonna be hard. You're gonna think you're doing the wrong thing. You're gonna question yourself. There's a lot of mindset also in this. So you just have to have the conviction and the delusion that somehow it's gonna work eventually, that it's gonna pay off. So just keep going, even if you don't see the end, even if you don't see the light, even if you think it's crazy, even if you think you should be doing something else, you just have to keep going. And you're not gonna realize that until you kept going and you look back and you're like, oh, thank God I kept going.
And lastly, where is your app available for listeners to download?
Yeah, it's available on the App Store and Play Store.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aya, for being here and sharing your
Of
story
course.
with us.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, thank you for tuning in and for your endless support. Don't forget to help us out by dropping a comment and rating us a 5 stars. See you all in the next episode. Bye.